watching RSA 2023, and I'm Aubrey with DevCentral. I'm here today with Chris Hickman from Keyfactor. How you doing today, Chris?
I'm doing really well, thank you. Yourself?
I'm doing great. It's a heck of a conference already. Off to a big start.
You know what? This conference is where it's at for everything security related. So
yes, yeah. It's the biggest one on this continent for sure.
Indeed.
So for our community members that may not know Keyfactor, can you give us a little overview of what Keyfactor does?
Yeah, so Keyfactor is an identity-driven security company. We're helping customers manage, in particular, machine identities at scale in the organization. When we talk about machine identities, we're talking about assets like X509 certificates, SSH keys, code signing certs, things of the sort, where you want to uniquely identify every machine in your organization so you can build trust. And then in order to really build trust, you need to be able to manage those credentials and those identities over the long term as they change, prior to them expiring, so on and so forth, to maintain visibility and uptime in your organization.
Awesome. That's a great thing, and we need that thing more than ever now with all the attacks out there, for sure. So can you tell us a little bit about the partnership? Where does this come from? Yeah,
so we've actually been working with F5 for quite some time now. Obviously, F5 are a huge footprint in our customer space, and they consume certificates and other credentials, and our customers have wanted to manage them for a long time. So we've had a long history of many years working with the F5 platform, and more recently we've stepped up that partnership with yourselves to be able to better serve your user of communities and our user in the community as well.
Well, it's definitely something you need when you use F5. You realize exactly how much SSL is in a common organization, and it's staggering.
It is,
and it's about to get even more staggering with post-quantum compute, right? I mean, how is that going to impact what Keyfactor does?
Yeah, that's a very salient point that we're talking about. And as I walked around the floor here, I don't know that you can go more than 5 steps without somebody saying post-quantum.
Yeah.
It is a going concern because people are coming to the realization that the standards are about to be released by NIST, and that's on track for a 2024 date. But there's also attacks that are happening in the organization today where data is getting stolen to decrypt later. And people are really starting to get their arms around the whole size of, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to change all the crypto in my organization. And that's going to be a behemoth task where organizations have not traditionally had to make that type of a change. I mean, crypto, the stuff we're using today, RSA, ECC, has been around for 40 odd years, and we haven't had to do that wholesale change. So organizations are really struggling with what do I need to do first to be ready, and how long is it going to take? Because it could be easily an 8 to 10 year adventure for a customer to be able to do that effectively. And they want to be able to identify, okay, what do I need to do first? What are my risky assets? What are my high value assets? And one of the things at Keyfactor we do is we give you visibility into what's out there, what certs are being used on what assets, and then give people an opportunity to develop a roadmap that's right for their business and right for their risk profile to be able to do that transition as those standards come into place, and as things like F5 start to adopt post-quantum algorithms, you're going to want to have an agile way to move to them, and possibly even to move within those stacks if something becomes vulnerable in one post-quantum stack, moving it to another one potentially. Yeah. So the agility continues to pay forward as you go through this transition.
Well, you mentioned the amount of time that it takes. I mean, trying to think back 20 years ago when I was a sysadmin with 700 servers, we would take months just to change certs. We're not going to be able to do that because what is it that Google actually is going to be, trying to get that standard to 90 days for certs. How is that going to impact?
Yeah, they've recently announced that they're going to try to move the publicly rooted SSL cert, which of course on the F5 is a big area. They're going to try to move that down to 90 days from I think it's 398 days that it is today. So, on organizations that's a huge impact. And to put it in perspective, you want to renew your cert before it expires. So somewhere that would put you somewhere in a 60 to 70 day window that you're going to have to roll every publicly rooted SSL cert in your organization, and that's going to easily add 5 to 6x the workload to get those deployed, unless you have a solution that can help you automate that and do it for you and get those not only pushed down but bound to the devices. And one of the things that our mutual customers love about us is we're not just getting a cert there, we're actually binding it, we're actually making the application of the appliance work with that certificate so that the users really kind of have a fully automated experience out of the box and don't have to worry about that outage as a result of a cert expiring on F5.
Wow, and I think all of our community members can probably appreciate how difficult it is when certs expire and when you have this kind of certificate management issue over time. So I guess it would be a lot more expensive not to automate that.
I think there's certainly, in the industry, a lack of cybersecurity talent, right, and labor shortages, and people who know this space are expensive. Automation can be one of the tools that you can leverage out of the Keyfactor product to help reduce that impact and reduce that financial impact to your organization of having to go and find all these people to do that work. And honestly, manual just doesn't scale anyway, so automation is a good path forward.
Definitely true. We've learned that over the years. Well, keep your eyes on the news, F5 community. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate
it's my pleasure.
the time today. It was great talking. And keep tuned in to RSA 2023. I'm Aubrey from DevCentral. Have a great F5 day.